Hello, everybody, and welcome to HE Movie Talk. I am your host, Fluffy Duffy, once again, joined by my co-host, Beans. Dean, how are you?
I'm so tired. That was a second attempt at our intro. If you're wondering why I was already giggling.
Why do you don't have to expose me. We've both had a long day.
Yeah.
You probably a little bit more than I have.
I've probably had a longer day than you just because I'm further into it.
Well, that's true.
Yeah. So anyway, today we're here with a very special episode. We're talking about Thor, Love and Thunder and the Boys.
Yes. So it's going to be a review episode of the podcast where the first half we're going to talk about Thor, Love and Thunder, and the second half we're going to talk about the boys.
And if you just want to hear us talk about boys, if the boys,
that's what the show's called. You're good. You're right on track.
I said if you want to hear us talk about boys, not the boys.
If you want to hear us talk about boys,
if you want to hear us talk about season 3 of the boys specifically, there's a time code down below.
Yes. And if you want to hear us talk about boys, get in our Fortnite voice chat. And then
what does that mean?
I think that was like kind of a gay joke.
Okay.
Because
Okay, yeah, kind of. Anyway.
Because you said it, so I'm like, there's a joke there.
Spoilers for Thor Love and Thunder.
Yes, and the boys.
Well, yeah, but if you don't want the boys spoiled, you can listen to the Thor Love and Thunder bit.
That's true. But if you don't want either spoiled, then you can listen up to this point. And
stop in 3, 2, 1. Hey, remember that bit where Homelander and Thor kissed?
Yo, those are boys.
Anyway,
so okay, let's talk about Thor.
Sure.
Thor.
He's such a big guy. He is freaky big.
Did you see my rating? Did you see my review of it?
No, I skipped it.
Okay. I'm going to give you my out of 10 rating.
Okay.
And from what the brief 5 words you've given me for this description, I think we will we'll butt heads.
Okay, like those goats. I don't think they butted heads in this movie.
They did butt other things heads. Like they used their head to butt things. They were
rushing bums in this movie.
Okay, I gave Thor Love and Thunder a 9 out of 10.
Okay, I have no freaking idea. I haven't been thinking about this movie a lot actually, but I just have no idea how I feel. And I liked it. I know that much. I just don't know how much, and I've got no idea how much I would rate it because it's just such a. I don't know. I don't know.
Well, I do think it is the most like cheesy out of any Taika Waititi movie I've seen.
Yeah.
Like it takes itself less seriously than any one I've seen before.
But I think movies like Hunt for the Wilder People are very cheesy, but I think they pull it off in a better way than this does. I said I think this is my least favorite Taika Waititi film, which I haven't seen Eagle vs. Shark. I've seen all the others, which doesn't say a lot because I love Taika. But yeah.
Well, for like Taika Waititi, I think the only ones I've seen is the 2 Thor movies, Jojo Rabbit, and What We Do in the Shadows.
You've not seen Hunt for the Wilder People?
Mm.
It's one of my favorite movies.
I saw the first 20 minutes and then I got tired and I went to sleep and I didn't bother starting it again.
My favorite Taika film.
Wow.
Anyway, Thor Love and Thunder. Should we unpack this thing?
Yes. So the biggest complaint about this movie that I want to hear your take on, because I definitely have I would consider it a unique take, is that it spoils emotional beats for jokes.
Yeah. I wouldn't go that far because that's a complaint that I can't think of a specific example where they go, oh, this joke completely ruined this emotional moment. I just felt more like when the movie got into emotional moments, I was kind of like, oh, this is happening. I'm supposed to care about this now. Because I don't know what it was specifically, but somehow within the making of this movie, I think the switch from emotional stuff to comedy and back again wasn't as succinct, and it felt quite jarring at times.
I get that. I feel like, I don't know. I think whatever it is, I have never really cared about Jane and Thor. So
Yeah.
even like in like, I don't know. Sometimes I feel like a sociopath when I'm watching movies, because even it could be like the greatest movie, I can recognize like, oh, this movie
Like
wants me to
Homeland.
feel this way right now.
Yeah. Do you feel
And
like
so like, what?
you feel like Homelander?
Yeah.
You look like him as well. It's not a good sign.
And about, don't
Did
get
you
me
not
started on milk.
did you not care more about Jane and Thor in this movie though?
I mean, I cared more about Jane.
Did you not? Did that montage not do anything for you? I enjoyed that.
I enjoyed it, but like, I don't know. I think it might just be the man in me, the stereotypical toxic man.
Manning you.
But like, I really don't care about relationships in movies and TV shows. That's just like, I don't say they're bad. There can be good ones, but most of the time I'm like,
Name
I
a
would
good one.
name a good relationship.
Hmm.
Um
He's really thinking.
Tony and Pepper.
Okay.
I think they have a good relationship and I recognize it, but it's probably my least favorite part of the movies is that. Well, like,
Okay.
not, no, there's obviously worse parts, but like that, you know, I don't know.
Can I
Like,
go
I
on?
hate love triangles. Like, love triangles make me want to just like smash my head against the table.
What about me, you, and the camera?
Don't kid yourself.
I
Wow. The camera really did not like that.
think it's out of battery. Is it out of battery? What is going on?
Camera goes out. Oh, there it goes.
That wasn't me touching it. It knows. Wow. I'm
Just
keeping
needed
that.
to be touched.
Okay. Can I? It's like Thor's hammer. Can I go on my little rant about this movie?
Yeah, let me put my earplugs in.
I just feel like this movie was trying to be a lot of things, and it didn't really commit to. I think my camera's out of battery. I'm just going to switch now. Give me a second.
Wow. See, the viewers don't understand, or audio listeners
Video listeners
don't understand that we
on?
went through a long thing of me trying to get my camera working. Like, I don't know, like 30 minutes before we started recording this podcast.
I'm pretty sure I charged it. So anyway, let me rant.
Okay. Oops. Sorry.
I'm
Dylan
gonna
rant, guys.
now. Okay. No, I'll put that back down. This movie didn't really commit to a lot of things for me. I felt like it was trying to be so there's another, he's a YouTuber actually, Nalbis. He's called Jim, and he posts on TikTok and he posts on Letterboxd, and he's a friend of mine. And in his Letterboxd review for Thor Love and Thunder, he said that this movie felt like an MCU parody movie in a good way. And I read that before going into this movie, so I kind of had that as my expectation. I think he listens to this sometimes. So hi, if you're listening, Jimmy.
Hi, Jimmy.
And I had that in my mind, and I was like, oh yeah, I love the idea of that, of Taika Waititi making an MCU parody movie. But I didn't feel like this movie was that, because there were like elements of it, but it didn't really fully commit to it. And then it didn't really fully commit to the rom-com elements either, because I felt like a lot of it was quite a bit rushed, and it didn't. I feel like this is the bit we're going to disagree over. I don't think it fully committed to the villain, because I just don't think he had enough screen time at all for him to truly like be fleshed out and work. And there were just so many of these ideas, and a lot of the characters, and like it tried to give Thor this deep emotional arc of him being like, oh, nobody loves me and I don't love anyone and I'm empty, blah blah blah. And I felt like that thing was entirely rushed. I think it was just discussed about at the start and then discussed about at the end, and they went, there you go, there's an arc. I just felt like all this kind of thing was kind of rushed.
Yeah, you know what? Like, I think for me, I don't want to sound like a snob, but I really just enjoy just like nothing comedy movies.
Yeah.
Like,
But this movie wasn't trying to be that a lot of the time. I'd be happy if it was a nothing comedy movie.
but it kind of gives off that I like, you get the nothing, like there's no comedy when like, well, even there is some comedy when gore is on screen. I really enjoyed Gore, the God
Yeah, I
Butcher, Christian
enjoyed
Bale.
him too. I just think he didn't have enough time after his origin.
I did think his origin, if anything, my least favorite part about Gore was his origin.
Really? Why don't you like his origin?
It felt a little like, I don't know. It just, that really, it felt like it felt like just like out and rushed a little bit.
Yeah, I do get that, but I thought it looked cool and I enjoyed, yeah.
I really liked the makeup Christian Bale had on that like showed how like sunburnt he was and his skin was. I thought that was really cool.
Yeah, and like the first thing you see of him was his shadow.
Yeah. Um, but I think this movie, it kind of, I don't know if my eyes just glaze it over because I think of it as like a comedy film. Like Thor Ragnarok had comedic elements, but I literally look at this as like I would almost categorize this as a comedy and then an action movie.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. Well,
And
I might say the same about Ragnarok.
I feel like for me personally, if anything, this movie commits to being a comedy as much as Winter Soldier commits to being an act like a crime thriller.
But which is not a lot.
Well, I think it like a spy movie. Sorry,
Yeah.
a spy movie.
Yeah.
Um,
I can't figure out why there was such tonal whiplash in this film. Because in Ragnarok, you have brilliant moment. Like there's a really touching moment with Thor and Loki in the elevator. I'm sure you know which bit I mean.
mm-hmm.
When they have a
Yeah.
really deep conversation, and then immediately it switches to the get help joke, which firstly is a joke I enjoy. And secondly, there is no bit where I watch that where I'm like, wow, that was a real shift in tone, where it is a shift in tone, but it's seamless. And I can't like picture what the difference is between that and some of the moments in this film.
I get what you're saying, and like I can like what's like an example? Can you think of an example of like a jarring moment for tonally?
Kind of, this probably isn't the best example I can think of, but where Jane and Valkyrie are having a conversation at their door, and then like they have quite a nice conversation. And then Valkyrie's like, "Hey, look at my portable speaker," and then they just listen to music for a couple seconds.
Yeah, that wasn't really a good joke.
I feel like that was kind of the issue at that moment where I was like, "This would work." If
Yeah,
funny. I don't. It's just I feel like the difference is Ragnarok spent more time on its characters because I think Loki was quite well fleshed out. Hulk and Bruce Banner were quite well fleshed out. There was some good stuff with Thor. I mean, there's good stuff with Thor here as well, but I just feel like that did a better job with its supporting cast. Where here you don't get a lot of Valkyrie playing, you don't get a lot of
do you think if this wasn't an IP movie, like if it wasn't Thor, a person we had followed for so long and know so much about, and we know about all these complex character arcs that they have gone through in the past decade or so, you would like this movie more?
I think I'd like it a lot less.
Oh, really? Interesting.
Kind of like what on earth is going on? Like that, like I don't know how to. Yeah, I feel like I don't know.
Well, like
really don't know what I feel about this movie in a lot of aspects.
I do think that I am forgiving the movie for a lot. And I think this like it's I categorize this movie similar to the Suicide Squad.
Wow.
Where there was a moment in the Suicide Squad where I instantly knew, okay, this is what type of movie this is. This is what I'm getting myself into. I am going this is what I'm expecting. And then it fully delivered.
Yeah.
And then as soon as Thor started riding Stormbreaker like a witch, I instantly like, oh, this is what I'm getting myself into.
That's kind
And
of
I
That's
loved
kind of
it.
what I mean. I enjoyed that moment, but then I don't think they fully committed to the wacky comedy because I don't know. I don't feel like it fully committed to that idea because it then was also trying to be sincere and it didn't deliver. The thing is, I did enjoy this movie, and me saying all this stuff makes it sound like I liked it a lot less than I actually did. But it's just because I liked it less than you, where I'm kind of
Right. No, and I think I mean, I know you liked it. Don't worry. It's okay.
I was telling that for the listener. I know you. I just
Oh, yeah.
these losers.
Sorry, Jimmy. Just clarifying it for you.
There you go, Jimmy.
So,
I hope he is listening now.
so like when you look the emotional beats, like let's say Jane Foster in the hospital bed talk that thing with Thor. That didn't work for you?
I think that scene worked better. I think kind of that was probably the best bit that worked. I think her introduction wasn't super strong. And I feel like that's less to do with tone and also more just to do with it kind of felt like, oh, here's the origin story, by the way. Well, this is happening and this is happening, just trying to like quickly. I feel like the moment there did work better. I kind of like the moment on the ship didn't work amazingly for me. I'm not sure what it was when they had their kiss.
Yeah, and it seemed like a little bit like, oh, they're fine now. Okay.
I feel like an issue is here that nobody cared about Jane before this movie, and now they're trying to. They like just invented all this pre-existing backstory for them that we didn't.
Yeah, they almost had to completely rewrite her character, but in a way where it seemed like we've known it for the entire time.
Yeah.
And I think like also it's like, looking at it like it through Taika Waititi's perspective, it's like, do we give Jane a lot of time for her origin, or do we just get it out of there and then now she's Mighty Thor?
I feel like this movie did need a longer runtime, and it's rare for me to say that because I love movies that are not massively long.
But also, I like how it's pretty short and sweet.
Yeah, but I just felt it was rushed in areas, and I felt the ending was a bit rushed as well.
I think more time with Gore would have been cool.
Yeah.
But like not with Thor. Like I think if we got more time with Gore, like maybe just killing gods.
He kills
just
one person in that entire movie, and it was Paul Giamatti. I thought it was. Am I wrong?
Is that Paul Giamatti?
I'll check. You keep talking. But he only.
I don't know if that was. I mean, I believe you.
He killed one person in the entire movie.
On screen.
On screen. Oh yeah, obviously there was, but I would have liked to see more of that. But also, I kind of felt a bit like Thor knew so little about this guy's motivation that the ending felt a bit like, oh, is this what we're doing? There's one thing I like about the ending, which I'll get to in a moment.
I do think that like at the end when Thor is like, I'll take care of your child, that seemed that didn't work for me.
No, it wasn't Paul Giamatti. I didn't recognize it as Paul Giamatti, but I swear I saw somewhere that it was Paul Giamatti.
Fake news.
Let me find out who it was. Anyway, keep talking.
But like, because they hinted towards it, like Thor wants a kid, blah blah blah, dad bod, and then at the end of the movie they're like, oh, Gore wants her to take care of this, and then now Thor will do it. It just didn't. If they added a little bit more in there.
There wasn't even a bit where Gore was like, hey, can you look after my kid? And Thor was like, yes. It was kind of like Gore's dead, and in the next scene,
Yeah. Well, there was kind of it because Gore was like, I'm going to do this. And then Thor was like, no, don't. You can bring your daughter back. And then Gore was like, but I'm going to die. And then Thor was like, but we can take care of it.
Jane says that.
Oh.
The Thor never agrees to this. Jane's like, yeah, we can look after a kid, and then just die. So thanks a lot, Jane.
Yeah. Thanks, Jane.
Thanks.
Okay. What's this thing you liked
About the ending?
Yeah.
How they finished there wasn't a big fight, and they kind of just talked him down. I enjoyed that.
I didn't even notice this, and this is kind of old news, but like his scarring around his tattoos that dedicated himself to the gods. Did you notice that?
Yeah.
I thought that was really cool. My friend, that didn't even click in my brain until my friend pointed it out after the movie, and I'm like, oh yeah.
Well, that didn't have a lot to do with what I was saying. So
what?
That didn't have a lot to do with what I was saying. So
oh well, I'm just saying other things now.
Did you enjoy Big Eternity? Seeing him?
Yeah, is that like a big thing?
Yeah, he's kind of he's like the stage above the Celestials.
Oh, so that's really important to see.
He is like the most powerful guy in the MCU we've seen so far.
And what about kid?
He doesn't. It's weird that he doesn't talk. I would have liked to see him talk.
What about the kid? Because that kid has a lot of powers. Do we know anything about that kid that he gets at the end?
I don't think she's from the comics that I know of.
Oh, interesting. Well, I've taken your word for that once, and it turned out it wasn't right. So
let's ask someone who knows something about comics. I know stuff about Eternity. I've read comics with Eternity and Zeus.
Oh, I loved Zeus.
Me too, until I had a realization.
What?
Do you know what my biggest complaint about this movie is, without a doubt?
What?
No Jeff Goldblum.
Mm.
And this is when I thought about it, Zeus is so similar to the Grandmaster in like the kind of comedy and like getting a big actor to do it.
Yeah, but there's
I
something
do really
about
like
Zeus.
I'm just kind of like, oh, just give Grandmaster. You're giving us another orgy joke with another guy.
The thing is, Jeff Goldblum was Jeff Goldblum.
Yeah.
In Thor Ragnarok, but Russell Crowe was not Russell Crowe. He was the strangest dude. Oh my God. I was laughing so hard.
Who would you rather have seen?
Like, if I would have,
No, who'd you rather see again? I mean,
I don't know. I don't need to. I'm not sure. I'll leave it at that.
Okay. Next question.
Yeah.
I've forgotten it. I had a really good question. No, it wasn't a question. It was a fact. So I found out that we have had confirmation that Christian Bale filmed scenes for this movie with Jeff Goldblum and Peter Dinklage.
Really?
And that would have been cool to see.
Well, because isn't Jeff Goldblum, his character, technically a god?
I mean, he's more of a god than the others, but he isn't. I feel like Gore's kind of god is like, I don't know how this whole god thing works. It's so confusing.
It is confusing because like gods and Asgardians aren't gods, but they are gods, but they're not. But gods have gold blood, but Asgardians don't.
Who knows?
I did really like the gold blood. That was cool.
Yeah.
That was, in my mind, that was Taika Waititi being like, can't do blood, but if it was gold, can we get them like, can we get it everywhere?
Do you know what my biggest complaint about this movie was? Actually, what? I've already said that, but this time it's genuine. This is a genuine complaint.
What?
It was all too like filmed in a box and green screen and like no depth to it kind of thing.
Yeah.
And I understand that for where a lot of this movie is set. But it look a bit like flat.
Yeah. I'll you know, as somebody who really likes MCU properties and just like things like that, that doesn't really bother me, but I totally understand that as a complaint.
I think this movie has been worse than, because people were saying about Spider-Man No Way Home, which I kind of get. But this movie, I kind of, do you know, I was thinking in this movie, which kind of stressed me out a bit.
What?
Am I not a massive fan of this movie just because I'm feeling MCU fatigue? Because I was
I
kind of like,
think,
do I dislike stuff about this movie, or am I just fed up with this?
you know, MCU is getting a lot of trash recently,
Yeah.
but if we just look at the movies,
Hmm.
the only like stinker has been Eternals. Eternals and Doctor Strange.
Black Widow.
Yeah, but Black Widow wasn't like terrible. Like Black Widow was good. It just wasn't anything new.
Yeah, I think if Black Widow had just come out though without like being part of the MCU though, it would be absolute trash.
Yeah,
Yeah,
sure.
I don't know. I don't know if
But
it's
like Shang-Chi was so good.
yeah, you're right. You're right. It was. And I don't know if this is just me, like either they're making stuff which I'm enjoying less, they're making stuff which I think is worse, or I'm enjoying it less because I've seen so much of it and like my brain is so inside all these things now, or something else, you know? I don't know what it is that's making me like these less. And I hope it's not fatigue because I want to enjoy them. I go into all of these going, hey, I hope I have a great time here.
I don't think it's like fatigue. I think it's just they're missing a lot, like especially the shows. None of the like okay, I'm just saying like what makes shows cool is not less episodes. Like literally the
Yeah.
shows have just been like I think like I was thinking about this. A 2-hour movie forces a director and writers to really get rid of all the extra stuff and just make, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah, yeah.
that puts you in
I-
a time constraint. And when you are put in constraints and restrictions, that's when you really get creative and you actually make something really interesting.
And that's why I think Ragnarok is better than this movie.
Why?
Because in this movie, they were kind of like, yeah, Taika, do whatever you want. And he was like, yeah, I'm going to do every Taika Waititi thing I've ever imagined. And I love Taika Waititi. I'm not like saying this is a complaint against him. I'm just saying Ragnarok was less Taika Waititi in a good way.
And I said the same thing about Multiverse of Madness.
You did. Exactly.
And I like listen, like producers and studios getting in the way of a like director's vision isn't always a bad thing. Like, look at the
Yeah.
prequels. Oh my god, the prequels are good. Shut up.
It's a
No, they're
funny
not.
thing
They're
that
not.
if you had said back, even like back when we watched Spider-Man No Way Home, if you said to me, oh yeah, by the way, you and Harlan, your next complaint about the MCU is them giving the directors too much freedom, I would be like, what on earth are you talking about? But having seen, maybe it's just because Sam Raimi and Taika Waititi are such like big, like bombastic directors. Maybe it's just that. What's next? What's next? Black Panther? Is that next?
Ooh, I don't know what is. Well, I know like movie, like actual movie.
Yeah, I think it's Black Panther
Is
if
Black
that doesn't
Panther.
get delayed. So, you know, give Ryan Coogler as much free reign as he wants. He's not as crazy and out there as Raimi and
Give
Watiti.
Peyton Reed as much room as he wants. He just makes the same exact movie.
Yeah. I did really enjoy Christian Bale's performance. I just would have liked to see more of it, I think is my only issue there.
Mm. Okay.
Guardians of the Galaxy, quickly.
Oh yeah, they totally marketed like the Guardians of the Galaxy are gonna be in it for a while. Like they were in like half the trailer,
Yeah.
and then they're all gone within the
I
first
think
10
it's
minutes, which is what I
definitely
kind of
the kind of
expected, but
thing where
still.
YTT was like, I don't want them in this movie. Like there was no need to have them in this movie. It was just the only reason they're in this movie is because they were together at the end of Endgame.
Right.
If you just didn't do that, then this movie would be no different. But anyway, that's not a complaint. Do any minutiae you want to get into, or are we moving on?
I think we're moving on.
Any credits?
Oh, Hercules was cool. Like I'm looking forward to it, but the reason I got excited because I know a lot of other mutuals that I know were looking forward to it.
Yeah. More Russell Crowe.
Yeah, Russell Crowe's still kicking.
Where's Jeff Goldblum?
Hey, Dean, calm down.
Um, and seeing Idris Elba was nice.
Oh yeah, that was sweet. I was kind of hoping for Loki.
Yeah, it's weird that there was. Maybe that's why this Thor movie feels like there's less heart because there's no Loki.
Maybe. I think that's a
He's the
big
heart
part.
of a lot of those other. I would say he's the heart of Thor 2 and Thor 3.
I would say all of them.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Because
Yeah, you're right. He is the heart of all of them. And then maybe that's why I like this one less. Maybe I just don't like movies. No, I'm joking.
Yeah, maybe you should delete your TikTok.
Oh, okay.
Beep, boop, 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 boop,
I actually have like
boop,
10
boop,
drafts on there. I'm not going to do
beep.
that. We moving on.
Yes.
This is your big time spoiler warning for give me some time to think.
I like that.
That song is so in my head all the time, constantly. Because when I went to do the boys experience, there's a video about that on my YouTube if you want to go watch it, Harlan.
I did watch it. I watched it right when it came out because I was really interested. I'm like, this is going to be a good video. And I watched it and I watched it all. And I was like, that was a good video.
Yeah. When we were staying outside queuing, every 5 minutes, they would play that song really loudly from inside the building. And we were like, what is going on in there?
What do you know? It was the only black noir fight scene that you would ever see.
No, he's got one in season 2.
Does he?
When he storms the building and kills all the terrorists. But yeah, it's not really enough.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Okay. Well, now that we got addressed the elephant out of the room, I think that's the only fair thing to. Well, actually, first of all, what do you think of season 3 of The Boys?
I think it's my favorite season of the show, which is also my favorite show ever.
Me too. What do you think of the finale?
Not as good as everything else, but still good.
I think I did like Herogasm more than the finale.
Me too. I mean, Herogasm is the best episode of television ever, and I'm happy to say that.
What did you think of Noir in this series? Like in this, I guess this series.
I quite like his death.
You liked it?
Like, I didn't hate it as much as some people seem to.
Well, I do think, well, like, as like a fan, I was kind of bummed out because I wanted to see him at least like go up against Homelander a little bit.
Yeah.
But like as like a story perspective, I'm like, that is powerful.
Yeah.
So,
my favorite shot, I think, of maybe ever, of anything ever, is Homelander hugging Black Noir and then the love hearts.
The hearts. And that's so tragic that he like loved Homelander, then Homelander.
Yeah. He was just a simple guy, and then there's the great moment later on in the season finale where where Homelander's like, "How could you kill one of your own kind?" And then A-Train just looks at the Black Noir helmet on the table. Oh, I love The Boys just for stuff like that. Did you enjoy the text I sent you, Harlan, about this episode?
Oh, yeah.
I said it was terrible because there's only one boy. Okay, sorry for checking my phone, but I just realized I got a message thing from Instagram, okay, from someone I don't know saying, "Convince me to watch The Boys."
You should. Oh man, you got your hands full tonight, don't you?
Yeah. Anyway, The Boys. How are we talking about this?
Okay, well, I do like when
give me some time to think, okay?
I was really hoping for. Okay. Here's one issue I have with this.
Okay,
it's easier to talk about issues and things I like. So,
okay.
Big issue.
So you go yours, and then I'll go mine.
I think Homelander should have absolutely destroyed Maeve.
Okay, I have an argument against this because I was thinking about this. So Maeve has never really been injured before this episode. And like no Homelander until he got the black eye. So we never really got an idea of the power scaling between these two. The only thing we know is that Queen Maeve is always like, oh yeah, we need an army to kill Homelander. And that's like the entire thing. And I think it all has boiled down to that Queen Maeve has just always been scared to stand up to her bully. And it's kind of like Victoria Newman because we don't know if she can blow up Homelander's head. Maybe she can, but she was too scared to try because if she tried, Homelander would then kill her if it didn't work.
Mm.
And I think the same is kind of true for Queen Maeve, where, yeah, we don't know if she'd stand a chance. Obviously, she wasn't going to kill Homelander, but we don't know if she ever stood a chance because she never tried.
Yeah, that's interesting. But like, I don't know. Like, it was really cool to see Homelander and Billy Butcher on the same side
Yeah, I liked
because
the bit where they looked at each other.
like I find it really interesting how like one big plot point that they want to drive home is that like Billy but Billy Butcher and Homelander are really two sides of the same coin,
Yeah.
and that like although they both believe they're fighting for different things, they're basically doing the same thing.
Do you want to hear
You know what
my
I mean? Like,
Billy Butcher impression?
sure.
Scorched earth.
You need to do like the little like he looks at him and he does like the little like head tap like
He does that.
like
He does a little smirk, like a half his mouth does a smirk. That's
yeah.
Carlisle.
Oh my. I honest. Wait, this is kind of freaky, but on my way to go see the finale with my friend for the boys, I was doing that in the car. I was going like scorches, and then I was like, oh,
I honestly, every time I watch an episode of The Boys for the next 2 hours, I'll just walk around my house going to, I've been doing it this evening. I'll just walk around my house going, well, what do we have here? I just say stuff like, well, if it ain't the invisible can.
How do you not like Billy? But I'm sorry, my friend doesn't like Billy Butcher. Not the friend I saw the finale with, but another one of my friends doesn't like Billy Butcher as a character, and it pisses me off.
I thought you were about to say, I mean, I like, I'd understand if you don't like him as a person, but as a character,
There's a character. They find them annoying.
oh, I thought it was so sweet this at the start of the episode where at the start of the finale where he goes, "You really are the spitting image of my brother Lenny," and then Huey's like, "What?" and then just gets clocked. I really like that moment because that's a sweet Billy Butcher moment.
I really was satisfied by the end of Huey's arc in this finale.
Me too, and I'm satisfied with Billy's arc as well. I think.
You're satisfied with Billy's arc?
Yeah.
In your opinion, what was Billy's arc? Like, I'm like, because his arc is a little bit more.
I mean, it's not. He didn't like Huey. I think got a complete arc in this season, and Billy didn't, and that's not a complaint. That's just an observation because Billy's got a larger arc across the entire show. It seems like.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Where I think it's a lot easier to see Huey's. Where I think Billy, it was about Ryan. I think really about him learning to care about the people near him more because he does stick up for Hugh and he does stick up for Ryan. Well, tries to. Well, no, he does stick up for Ryan. Just Ryan doesn't reciprocate.
Ryan, I was really interested in what they did with Ryan.
I didn't see it coming, but it makes sense.
It does make sense, and it's scary, especially how he reacted that last shot in the entire series.
Yeah.
Mm.
Hey, Homelander really shot a guy in the middle of Fifth Avenue and didn't lose a vote.
Yeah. I'm really interested to see where they take season 4. Like they set it up so well.
I do. That's my one complaint, which I never got round to.
What?
I think the start of season 3 is too similar to the end of season 3. Because I'm in, like, characters have changed, characters have gone through things, that I admit. But basically, Homelander is on the breaking point, and the boys are together trying to track down superheroes, and like nothing, like apart from Ryan, nothing ginormous has changed between the seasons.
Yeah, that's true. I think
Soldier Boy is in a coma somewhere.
I think the one difference is like the 7 is more broken than ever.
Yeah, but also that's kind of every season.
And like, because if you think about it, like, you're frozen for me right now. I don't know if. Okay, there we go. Like, there's only how many members are in the 7 right now? 3. 3, and one of them's A-Train, who is definitely not on their side, and even the Deep is like, I don't know about this guy.
He did end up with the 2 worst members.
He did. Well, A-Train's been kind of great. Like A-Train, I'm really looking forward to seeing like a redemption arc.
Yeah, it'll be interesting because I think it would be more for me, I think it's more difficult to redeem A-Train than it is the Deep. But I'm looking forward to see how they handle it.
Well, The only difference, I think, A Train honestly will be easier to redeem because the Deep doesn't like he cares about being a good person, but really he cares about being perceived as a good person
Yeah, I get what you.
more.
I think what
I would argue.
I think it would be easier to redeem him because A Train has like a family and that sort of thing. Where,
And A
but
Train wants to be a better person, like
yeah,
not for so people like him more, but so he can like himself more. He wants to do good.
yeah,
He's just really, really bad at it and doesn't understand how
yeah.
to really be a good person. But he has that desire.
I feel like we're talking. Yeah, no, the seven has only been the seven. I think for like 3 episodes of the entire show.
Right.
That's
And
the
now that
first
Black
thing.
Noir is dead,
Yeah.
like it's shown that, you know, if Maeve gets the V back, if
Black
you
Noir's
know,
dead.
Homelander can die.
Wow, you just
That's
think,
like I think one thing that this season has proved is like Homelander is not invincible. Like
yeah,
if there's Maeve and they can get A Train back, if they get A Train and Maeve on their side, I honestly think um it's they can kill Homelander.
Soldier Boy could do it himself. I reckon.
Mm,
I think the difference. Sorry, going back to Queen Maeve versus Homelander. The difference there is that Queen Maeve has been trained to fight, where Homelander
right.
has no training, and that's kind of the difference I feel there. And I think it's the same with Soldier Boy, where Homelander probably is more powerful, but you know,
But like Homelander was winning in the fight between him and Soldier Boy until Butcher came in.
yeah, that's true.
So that's why I'm like, probably not.
Yeah, okay. Are you? How do you feel about Queen Maeve's ending?
I'm good with it.
I'm
I think,
happy it gave her a happy ending.
yeah, I
So
think she deserved it.
yeah,
Um, I think Frenchie didn't die. I was really putting all my coins in that.
yeah. I'm not complaining, but yeah,
Me either.
I liked
None of the
Mother's Milk
boys died.
ending.
What'd you say?
I liked Mother's Milk's ending.
Yeah, Milk had a really powerful ending. I
And
think.
Todd is still going to be out there. Todd's the worst.
I want a kid. I want Todd. If I have any wishes for season 4, is that for Todd to get killed in a very, very gruesome way by Homelander, preferably.
I feel like he will now because the internet has like turned around. The internet hates Todd more than they hate Homelander, I think.
Yeah, because Homelander, like, okay, I feel sick about this,
Mm-hmm.
but there was a like when when Ryan got close to Homelander and started liking Homelander, I felt happy for Homelander. I'm like,
Yeah, I know.
that's cute.
And I felt sorry for Homelander when Soldier Boy like put his arm on his it was like and he was like, "You're such a disappointment." I felt sorry for him,
Oh, I didn't.
and it's just because I don't know. It's just because he does such a good job.
I think like when that happened, I would because I really didn't want it to be Homelander and Soldier Boy against everybody else. So when
Yeah,
that happened, I was like, yes.
yeah.
And honestly, Soldier Boy didn't do anything wrong.
Just in general, or in that scene?
Well, no, like in the finale, like
sorry, you really hit
Butcher
me.
kind of. Oh,
This is
sorry,
one of those
but Soldier Boy
like
obviously has done things wrong. But in
like
the finale,
Mook's family.
Billy Butcher turned on Soldier Boy. Soldier Boy didn't turn on Billy Butcher.
Yeah, no, I 100% get what you mean, but also I don't think Billy did anything wrong in that scene either.
No, but they should have taken care. Like, no, Billy Butcher did the right thing morally.
The part I was so happy when he was like, "I'm gonna save Ryan," because because of how happy he like that's the seems to be the one thing he cared about, and the person who did the worst thing in that scene was Homelander just bringing Ryan there just as a sympathy card. Shut up, Homelander.
Yeah.
You're the worst.
Yeah, but Homelander knew that. He knew they were coming, and he was like, "If I have Ryan here,
Yeah,
I'm gonna be a-okay."
I'm starting to think he's not that good a superhero.
Who?
Homelander.
He's not. Is he?
I'm starting to believe Starlight.
Because if like Maeve can take him down that easy, like really, she took him down pretty easy. Like she lost an eye, but
Yeah. The thing is,
like Omni-Man would have destroyed Maeve.
yeah. But if Homelander ever does just like if Homelander is chilling in his he's chilling in Vought Tower one day by himself and he's talking to himself in the mirror, and the mirror is like, hey, you should go and kill everyone ever, and he just started doing that, I don't know if anyone would be able to stop him.
You don't think? Why not?
Just because if he's on that rampage, I think he'd easily get for 1 million people before someone is like, hey, let's stop this. It's like manages to.
Yeah, well, like compared to like, I don't know, like I think personally, so Soldier Boy could kill him. Butcher, I think, could kill him.
I don't think Butcher could kill Homelander with Temp V.
What if, okay, here's an idea. Let's say it wasn't Temp V. Billy Butcher got V.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think he could take down Homelander? Same powers.
No, because if it got to that point, Homelander would either just hover a little bit above him or just run away. Like he's got super speed and flight.
A-Train could kill Homelander.
Yeah, we should do a verse video.
What do you mean?
Just like, hey, give us 2 characters and we'll tell you who'd win in the fight.
Oh yeah, we could both like do research on one.
Yeah, maybe do it next week, because that's going to just be a really boring episode otherwise.
Oh, you're right. Yeah, we should probably start getting something more exciting in that episode.
Oh yeah, we need to figure out what we're going to do on a Zoom call to record that. Anyway,
yeah, it's going to be tricky. Should we like? I think there's a whiteboard feature on Zoom now. We could probably do something like that.
Yeah, that works. That works well. Where was I?
We talked a lot about
the finale. Yeah, let's cancel next week's episode because it's gonna be so boring.
Yeah. We'll see. We'll figure something
out. We've talked a lot about the finale. Should we branch out to other season highlights?
Herogasm. I think I was telling my friend, the one who I watched the season with, if season 4, let's say the Boys has 5 seasons.
Yeah.
If season 4 and 5 are as good as season 3, I will officially put this show above Breaking Bad.
Oh, be cool. It's already above Breaking Bad for me, just because I refused. Like, you could point, if like the next season was absolute trash, it would take me about 4 or 5 episodes to admit it, I think. Just because I'm so far up this show's arse that I would not care. I would just be like, no, it's still amazing. I love it all so much.
And I think both to be clear, The Boys would not exist without Breaking Bad.
Yeah.
But both shows are genre defining, shocking, and pushes the boundary of how far like the writers can push you to hate and love a character.
Yeah. Do you know, I think the biggest difference between Breaking Bad and The Boys is why I prefer The Boys.
Besides superheroes.
It isn't because of superheroes. Breaking Bad is an absolute perfect story of how of maybe like 1, maybe 3 characters, either like just like their turn and their growth and their spiral into evil, or whatever you want to say, for 1, 2, maybe 3 characters. Where The Boys, I could make an argument that it's the same for 4 or 5 characters.
That's true.
I think
And
it's a lot more dense. There's a lot more going on. And I think it's funnier. I think there's better action. I think, yeah, and I think there's just as solid performances.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I don't know. I feel like um like high like Walter White
Mm-hmm.
would be like, in my opinion, is a little bit above Homelander,
I think
just
that is
because
easy to say because you don't know where Homeland is going to end up.
that's true. That's why I'm not like saying anything right now. Like
Yeah,
once the show wraps, then I'll be able to actually compare it. But the only reason I say that is because Walter White, Homelander started off unhinged and he's remained unhinged.
that's true.
Breaking Bad is able to take this character that started off as a regular schmo and turn into this psychopath. And I think it's kind of easy to forget how hard that is as an act. You know what I mean? Like change an entire person's personality, like inside out, and it not feel uncanny.
Okay, apart from Herogasm, what's another highlight of the season for you?
Her from Herogasm.
And the finale. I think one for me would be Billy's flashbacks last week. I thought they were quite sweet.
That was good.
Carl Urban has some freaking range.
Yeah, I like every episode was good. The season episode 3. What happened at the end of episode 3? Do you remember explicitly?
Supersonic gets offed.
Yeah, that was good. The first 3 episodes were amazing, and I
think that was the end of episode 4. Supersonic got offed. Yeah, sorry, that was the end. The end of episode 3 was Homelander kissing Starlight. That was amazing.
Yes.
And then there's stuff like the suicide scene. That was phenomenal, where the girl was about to kill herself on Homelander's birthday. You get Homelander's speech on his birthday.
Yes.
I think 1, 2, 3, 6, and 7 peak television. And then 4, 5, 8 slightly below that.
Yeah. Because Herogasm is my favorite episode of the series because the end of it, like,
yeah,
like it's just the end of it is. I have this moment in Breaking Bad, and I have this moment for this show. It's where you just are watching this and you get chills down your body because you're like, this is something. This is a feeling I'm never going to get again because it's so fucking awesome.
It's the culmination of everything that's been happening. Do you know what I loved about season 3?
Tell me.
I told you this. I don't know if it was. I doubt it was on a recording because we haven't talked about the boys and anything. I was nervous about them introducing Tempy just because it was an element of the comics that I didn't enjoy. But I now understand that Tempy was vital to the show because the show needed a way to resolve conflicts other than blackmail and that sort of thing.
Mm-hmm.
They needed a way to be like, yeah, let's have proper fights and let's have good act. Well, I'm not saying the show didn't have good action, but let's just pack this show full of action and just give us so many action scenes and so many cool moments with these superheroes that I was kind of like, yeah. And it felt so earned as well, because if they did that in season 1, it wouldn't feel as satisfying. But it feels so good here, where the first like proper fight scene Homelander's in is in Herogasm, like 3.5 seasons into a TV show. And I think it just felt so earned that we had this entire time of like him, like everyone avoiding him and tiptoeing around him and that sort of thing. And then all of a sudden we hit this point and it's like, I get what you mean. It is like such an awesome feeling where you're like, it has all been leading up to this.
Yeah. And like the one moment I alluded to in Breaking Bad, and I honestly think Herogasm, that ending might even do it better. And this is that one moment where Walter White is like laughing maniacally in like the basement
space. Yeah.
Yeah. That like, cause like you just saw Breaking Bad recently. Do you share like a similar feeling when that happened when you're like, oh my God?
Funny enough, I think I had a moment like that for Better Call Saul the other night. Not as good as either of these two moments.
Zip it. Zip it. Zip. Zip it. Zip. Okay. This is me
Can
For
I
our
give
visual
you
listeners?
one Better Call Saul point? That show has made me cry more than The Boys and Breaking Bad.
Wow.
But
I'll get to it.
I don't
Jesus.
think The Boys has ever made me cry.
No, that's not me either.
Maybe I would have cried when Becca died,
Uh,
just because of Butcher's face, just because of that. That is honestly some of the best acting I've ever seen in my life, where he is clearly so angry and there's tears in his eyes and he just stands up and you think he's about to kill Ryan and then Homelander lands and he steps in the way. That's separate. We're talking about season 2. What do you want in season 4?
Victoria Newman to die.
I want to see more of her, I think.
Well, yeah, we'll get more of her, but that's how the last season ended too. All the
Yeah.
boys are back together again, and Starlight's on the team. And Victoria Newman did something evil. Now they have to go kill her.
I did kind of like the build up to that of the Deep being like, isn't that treason? And we've got no idea what was said. And then you see this guy die, and you're like, why has the Deep killed this guy? I thought that was well executed. Pun intended.
Yeah, and do you think the Deep is going to like a fat suit? Because he was eating all that.
I don't know what they're going to do with him now. It really made me laugh when his wife had released the book In Too Deep. I think, okay, what do you think off the top of your head was the funniest bit of season 3?
Funniest bit of season 3.
I ask because I have an answer. Do you want me to go first?
Yeah, you ask. You answer.
When A-Train wakes up after killing Blue Hawk and has that entire conversation with Ashley.
Oh, yeah, that is pretty funny.
And Ashley gets like so much racism done so quickly. And then it's his face when he finds out he's got Blue Hawk's heart got me so good. Because I was like, that is so funny. That is like dramatic irony at its finest.
When Ashley's wig was revealed, did you find it as comedic or horrific?
I found it quite horrific.
Me too.
Because you knew she was losing hair, but not that bad. I was like, oh, and I kind of felt sorry for her.
Me too. Yeah, I feel so bad for her. I feel bad for the seven has never felt like more scary than that scene. Like,
yeah. Well, Homeland literally walks in. He's like, oh yeah, I just killed Black Noir, by the way.
And I think it was because like literally like Homelander could have killed everybody in that room, and I would have been like expecting it. Like,
I honestly, there was a moment where I thought he was going to, and that's what I mean. Where it is so good because every scene Homelander is in, he has had so much screen time throughout the show. It is rare for a villain to get as much screen time as Homelander does. Like, I cannot think of another example from a TV show where the villain gets so much screen time. And every time he's on screen, I just am watching him tense, ready for him to snap.
Because he like, if like that Black Noir scene has shown us that like literally anybody can die. Like, when you watch an MCU movie like Thor, like they're not gonna kill Thor.
Yeah.
They're not gonna kill. There's some people where they're gonna be okay.
Yeah, it's like how that you're like, oh yeah, this guy's got this many more movies on his contract, and he's going to appear in this Disney Plus show soon. But with this, you're like, and like there isn't that many deaths, but it's just Anthony Starr. That guy can act.
He can.
I think he is the greatest villain performance of all time for me.
I'll. Do you count Heisenberg as a villain?
No, I'm like antagonist, and I know you're
antagonist.
He is the antagonist of the show.
No, he's not. No, Heisenberg is the protagonist of the show.
Yeah. It's just all Anthony Starr can act. Carl Urban can act. They can all act. I enjoyed seeing more Mother's Milk this season.
I really liked Mother's Milk. Like, that ending with Mother's Milk was so perfect because it was like, I wouldn't even like morally, I wouldn't have come to that. Like, if I was in that situation, that like that's like such a big step for him. Like, I wouldn't want my daughter involved with that either. But the fact that he was like, well, this is who I am, and I can't hide it from you, but it's important for you to know that I'm not like a bad person. Like that was really profound, and I thought that was really smart what the writers did, and it makes sense.
And I really liked Huey being like, hey, we got to save everyone, especially if they don't deserve it. I was like,
Yeah.
he really is like the heart of the team.
And I really appreciated when Huey had the opportunity to take the temp feed to
Yeah.
save Starlight,
Yeah.
but instead he was like, no, I am going to help her win the battle by empowering her.
I think I shouted at my TV in that moment where he took out the temp V because
I did. I was like, don't you fucking do it, Huey. Pardon
yeah,
my language.
oh man, the boys. Okay, question for you.
Yeah.
Out of everything that has come out 2022 so far, movie, TV show, whatever, if you could get a sequel or an extra season of anything, is it the boys? And like, I'm counting like another appearance from Thor. If you don't choose Thor, you're never going to see Chris Hemsworth as Thor again. What would you choose?
That's really hard.
What's tempting you? What is it? Thor?
Stranger Things.
Stranger
Thor.
Things. Yeah, Stranger Things is a good one.
Spider-Man didn't come out in 2022.
Yeah, I knew you would have. Honestly, this question is easy for me. If you gave me the option to give anything an extra season or a thing, I think the only thing that could tempt me not to choose the boys is Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse.
Does that come out this year?
No, I think it was delayed to next year.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, sure. I'll give it to the boys. I feel like I'm missing something, but I feel like
Stranger Things, Obi-Wan Kenobi. No, I don't want a sequel to that really. What else has come out this year? Top Gun Maverick, Everything Everywhere All at Once. These are the best movies, but I'm kind of like, I don't need a sequel for that. The boys, I need more.
yeah, I do. I feel like if Stranger Things comes close, because that's just because they're right on the finale. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because you're kind of like, I want this to, and you know it's the last one as well.
Right.
If they were like, there's 3 more seasons, I'd be like a bit like,
yeah, no. But considering they left off on such a cliffhanger.
Yeah. And the boys. Oh, I love it so much. Did you know that?
wait, you like the boys?
Yeah.
We totally should have talked about that for the past 40 minutes.
This is a long episode, but I hope everyone enjoyed.
Oh, I'm enjoying it.
I'm glad. Okay. I still don't know what I'd give Love and Thunder out of 10. Like, I checked my letterbox. Hopefully I would have written a review by the time this is up. But I'm giving the boys a 10 out of 10.
I'll give Boys season 3 a 10 out of 10.
Yeah, season 3, 10 out of 10. I'm still disappointed there was only one boy.
Hey, who knows? Maybe next time we'll get another boy.
Yeah, maybe we'll get another boy.
They did say the boys in the finale, though.
They did. Oh, you're one of the boys now, oh yeah. Okay, how do you
My
think...
friend went, that's a show name of the show.
How do you think Bully Butcher would sound if they tried to give him a different accent, but it's also an awful version of that accent?
He might be like, Mamma mia, I scorched the earth. Oh my.
Mamma mia, if it ain't the invincible canta, mamma mia. That's my go-to Billy Butcher line. I think it was just because it was a theme.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Anyway.
We all got our own.
No, my go-to Billy Butcher line is, well, what do we have here?
I think it would be funny if, let's say if we ever met each other in real life, right? Yeah. If the first thing you do when you see like my orange hat is you just, I'm not going to say it just because I'm worried I get canceled, but you just go, oi, and you say the C word. Just sorry, I forget
Americans are a lot. Sorry to all my American listeners who I've said it like 2 or 3 times.
Well, I don't saying it with an American accent. There's just like a slight ring to it where it's like,
yeah.
Yeah. It's weird how that word is like unacceptable in our culture. Not unacceptable, but like really frowned upon
It's weird. And then even in like here and especially Australia, it's just thrown around.
Yeah, it's just like any like crap.
Yeah.
I think I never been there.
And you never will. Anyway.
Yep.
You're banned.
Yeah.
His passport has been revoked.
They just saw my TikToks and they're like, oh, ban.
Okay. I think that's the end of maybe our longest episode ever. Probably
Maybe.
not. Done really
I think like we always say that, and then it always comes out and they're like, oh, maybe not. All right. Is that it? You got all your thoughts out on the table?
I will never have all my thoughts out about the boys. We'll
Ay,
finish the
caramba.
recording here. You can leave the Zoom call and I'll just sit here talking about it.
Okay. Adios, everybody.
Out to say.
Well,
maybe see you next week. We'll figure something out.
Yeah, I mean,
together last minute.
If we don't do it, we'll like announce something like the podcast is canceled or something like that.
Honestly,
we'll figure it out.
Funny thing is, everyone's like, "Oh, I wonder what they've got planned." I don't actually know what next week's episodes are going to be. Do you?
Yeah, no, I don't. We'll figure it out though.
Finish the recording. It's going to be really boring. Whatever it is, just don't bother tuning in.
Just don't.
Bye, everyone.